Caitlin Clark yesterday was arguing with referees, and as expected, yeah, they're trying to get her banned. They're trying to get Caitlin Clark suspended. It is genuinely trying to get her suspended.
Rival fans are out here acting wild, calling for Caitlin Clark to be suspended just for talking to refs while she's hurt. Be serious. What is this, the WNBA or a middle school drama club? She's literally the leader of her team. Of course she's going to stay involved. But instead of respecting that, people are treating her like she's some kind of problem. The question is, why are so many folks so scared of Caitlin Clark?
That was not underneath the basket. That was hard to see. The back-to-back. She had her back to her. It was in the open area. At least two of the refs, if not three of them, should have seen that foul. Caitlin pointed to it. They still didn't blow their whistle.
Let's break this down. Clark's out here injured, limping on one leg, basically held together with athletic tape and adrenaline. And that's when rival fans decide, yep, suspend her. For what? For saying a few words to the officials? For staying engaged like every star athlete ever has? Since when is existing as Caitlin Clark suddenly a technical foul?
They're trying to get her suspended. And by the way, this is coming from the same people that try to get her kicked out of the league. So, there is a tweet going semi-viral right now. And by the way, there's a lot more. There is a lot more tweets in this. This is just the one that I've seen. And this is just a funny thing.
This is exactly what happens when the league, the media, and rival fan bases can't handle greatness. Whether you love her or hate her, Caitlin Clark is the storyline. She's the reason millions of new eyes are on the WNBA. She's the reason Indiana's building actually sounds alive on game nights. But instead of celebrating that, people are foaming at the mouth, trying to tear her down for literally doing what leaders do.
2 weeks. But more importantly, do you guys love the WNBA or do you just love Caitlin Clark? We're going to take a deep dive on that because when she got hurt, I was like, well, that's part of sports. She's an athlete. She's going to get hurt. Oh, but the sky started to fall when Caitlin Clark got hurt.
Think about it. Did anyone ever demand LeBron James get suspended for talking to refs while limping around? Did Diana Taurasi get benched because she barked at officials every other night of her career? No. But when Caitlin Clark has a simple conversation with refs, suddenly it's treated like some crime against humanity. Where's that same outrage when anyone else does it?
Person is literally, so in the last 10 days, has called for Caitlin Clark to be investigated for fraud, tagging the WNBA. And again, do you want to know what the funniest thing about all of this is? Is that I would think nothing of this if it wasn't for the fact that WNBA have literally opened an investigation based on Twitter. Well, almost certainly based on Twitter.
It feels like the whole WNBA got together and decided, let's make Caitlin Clark the target this week. And here's the irony, she's the reason their visibility is up 25%. That's not random, that's facts. A rookie walks in and turns every single game into must-see TV. And what does she get back? Silence from the league, cheap shots on the court, and zero protection. Why is she the only one expected to be flawless? Why does she have to take elbows, trash talk, and even physical confrontations with no backup? It's giving double standards.
Caitlin Clark is driving the WNBA insane. It's to the point that she may need to step away from the WNBA, have a billionaire come in that has the money to prove a point, and say, Caitlin, I'll pay you $50 million just to see if the WNBA can make it without you. Let's go create a complete different league and expose the hell out of the WNBA.
The whole thing's turned into a reality show called Who Wants to Humble Caitlin Clark this week? And the prize? A few retweets and TikTok clips before everyone forgets about you. Let's be real, this isn't about fairness, it's about fear. The league's nervous. Players are pressed. Fans are shook. Because Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's rewriting the script. And that level of star power? It makes people uncomfortable. So instead of embracing it, they twist her every move into fake drama. Leadership becomes arrogance. Talking to refs becomes diva behavior. Make it make sense.
Is it okay to come on the floor and argue the ref? I can guarantee you the commissioner will think nothing is wrong since it's Clark. And in the last week, that same person has tweeted this. And she was the original person that made the viral tweet. that made the viral tweet with 1.7 million views, saying you need to take a closer look at why Clark was pressuring her coach to be let back in the game when they were up over 20 points. It resulted in Dave Portnoy placing a bet. It resulted from...
And we need to talk about the WNBA itself. Because if this league had even a shred of self-preservation, they'd be protecting Caitlin Clark like the investment she is. Wrap her in bubble wrap, hire security, put real refs on the floor, something. Instead, she's getting blindsided on screens, slammed to the hardwood, shoved off balance, and somehow she's the one who gets penalized. Where are the flagrants? Where are the fines? Where's the statement from the league saying we value our stars? Nowhere. But flip the script, if Caitlin threw one of those elbows herself, you'd have ESPN running slow-motion Zapruder-style breakdowns for a week, while the league drafted a suspension letter before halftime.
But what has happened since Caitlin Clark has gotten hurt? Now, it's pretty tough to talk about the viewership because she just got hurt, so the TV ratings haven't come all the way in. But there are some indicators out there, such as there were ticket prices for the next Fever versus Sky matchup. And guess what? They dropped by 71% right after the news of her injury. And then they're talking about the growth of the WNBA, how it's supposed to be unprecedented this year. But now that will come to a halt as well just because of a 2-week injury to Caitlin Clark. Okay, so I've been on here on record saying that it's all about Caitlin Clark for me. And every time I say that, I know the resistance, I know the forces and the headwind against me. You may feel the same way. I hate this world where you just can't say.
So here's the obvious question. Is this really how the WNBA plans to grow? By turning their biggest gift into a punching bag? Because right now it looks less like professional sports and more like playground politics. The message being sent is clear. Caitlin Clark is a threat, and the system would rather humble her than protect her. How long are they going to keep letting this go on? How many more dirty screens? How many more cheap shots before someone steps in? Because at this point, it's not defense anymore. It's harassment, plain and simple.
We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here. And y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up. Who cares? If you're Magic and Bird, that didn't stop Jordan from coming along and doing what he did.
And let's not forget, the so-called scandal here is Caitlin Clark, injured, saying a few words to the refs. That's it. That's what blew up the internet. Fans ran to Twitter acting like she committed a felony. These are the same people who cheer when she drops 30 on their teams, the same ones who claim to hate her but can't stop watching her every move. It's obsession dressed up as outrage. Suspend her for leadership? Suspend her for staying engaged? That's not logical. That's personal.
WNBA, they're having troubles with tickets now because I think Caitlin Clark is out for what? How many weeks is she out? She's rolled out for the June 7th game. That's when she was supposed to meet up with Angel Reese again. And Chicago Sky, and there's a massive drop in ticket sales. This is after the take foul that she had on Reese and ended with a shove, and she got a flagrant foul, and they gave Reese and the other chick a foul. And I don't know, I guess she has a left quad strain, and she's gonna miss
at least 4 games, is what they're saying.
Yeah, okay. And the fourth and final of those games is the game against Sky. And so they said after her injury was announced, so check this out. The game on June 7th, the tickets were originally $86. Same seats now.
But here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about Clark. This is about how dominant women athletes get punished for being confident, competitive, and unapologetic. And when that dominance comes from someone young, popular, and unafraid of the spotlight. The microscope zooms in even tighter. Standards get raised, the judgment harsher, the expectations impossible. Meanwhile, what's the league office doing? Sitting on their hands. Not defending her. Not enforcing rules consistently. Just watching while the player driving their ticket sales and ratings gets treated like the villain.
Can we be clear about this? If Caitlin Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She's the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball.
And that's the real tell. Caitlin Clark has done everything right. No fights, no meltdowns, no messy interviews. She's played hard, carried herself well, and marketed this league better than their own PR department. And still, she's enemy number one. That should tell you the truth. When people want to see you fail, it doesn't matter how perfect you play it. She could donate half her paycheck to charity and folks would still find a way to twist it. So the question becomes, how much longer is Clark supposed to carry this league while being treated like the problem?
About this. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play, but for me, it's about making sure we address this in a way that doesn't affect her long term.
Sounds totally reasonable. I think obviously she's instrumental to what that team does. She's very important to the league at large, as we've.
If the WNBA is serious about growth, the solution is simple: protect your stars, enforce the rules, penalize the cheap shots, treat Clark like the generational talent she is, not like a punching bag for jealous rivals. And most importantly, stop framing her as the villain in a story she didn't write. She's not the problem. She is the spotlight, and some people just can't handle being seen in it. Rival fans can keep screaming, the league can keep pretending it's nothing, but the truth is obvious. Clark keeps showing up, playing through injuries, taking hits, carrying narratives, and still she's painted as the issue. That tells you everything about how threatened they really are.
Next, Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game. June 7th, I believe. That's going to be on CBS as well. You think that's going to draw 2.7? I can assure you it won't. You think that's going to draw over 2 million? I can assure you that won't. Over 1 million views, 1 to 1.5 might be the ballpark for that Chicago Sky Indiana Fever game. But if it's anything under 1 million, then people turned off in record numbers. If this next Chicago Sky Indiana Fever game on CBS does anything less than 1 million, people turned off in record.
Because here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's the WNBA's entire storyline right now. The energy, the ratings, the sold-out arenas, the headlines, it's all orbiting around her. And no matter how many cheap shots they take, no matter how many fake controversies they try to cook up, she's not going anywhere. This was never about a conversation with a referee. It's about how uncomfortable people get when one young woman walks in with the talent, swagger, and spotlight to change everything. Caitlin Clark isn't shrinking. She isn't fading. She's playing, she's winning, and she's already shifted the culture. And whether the league likes it or not, the numbers, the crowds, and the noise prove it louder than any press release ever could.